Anna Dixon is a Labour MP and one of a group of MPs putting forward an amendment which would not allow Friday's bill to go forward, saying there should only be a vote on this issue once there's been an independent review and public consultation. Ms Dixon, good morning.
Good morning, Amal.
So what are the concerns that motivate your amendment?
So we basically want time for more detailed scrutiny of this. So like other MPs, and as we heard from Jim, we take the responsibility as legislators really seriously. This is not just once in this Parliament a significant piece of social legislation, but in a whole generation. And so we feel it's incumbent on us to do our job properly. And through all the reading, listening that I've been doing, along with a lot of other MPs, I've come to the conclusion that there are a lot of complex legal and practical considerations that we don't feel a private member's bill is going to allow us to adequately address. And that's why we've put down this cross-party amendment.
So because we've got Kim Leadbeater on at 8:10, just give us a sense of some of the practical concerns you have, some of the questions you think are unanswered. I'm sure she would say they're answered and answered well. So what are the ones you think still aren't answered?
Well, the independent review would be something like a law commission or royal commission, and it would enable experts to look in much more detail at issues around, for example, coercion. So this is around, whether people are under any pressure to make the decision for assisted dying. Now, obviously, within the bill, there are things to make very overt coercion a crime, and that's sort of how it's being dealt with. But we know that in society we have discrimination. We have ageism, for example. We have power imbalance that leads to elder abuse, to domestic abuse. But we also know that some of these things are internalised. And so even if there isn't this sort of, evidence, criminal evidence of coercion, we need to really understand how a doctor's going to be able to really confidently say that this person is making a full, free and informed decision without, for example, feeling a burden to their family. The cost of social care, not least, we haven't fixed social care yet, so 24/7 care at the end of life, people can see their whole inheritances disappear. So these are societal issues, which actually just looking at those in much more detail to understand the definitions of coercion.
Just on your fundamental point about time, Kim Leadbeater would say, and lots of advocates say, there's loads of time. This Friday is just the start of a parliamentary process. It's got to get through both houses in Parliament, both the Commons and the Lords. And this is the beginning of a months-long deliberation where you can have all the time you want to debate it. What's wrong with that argument?
So in a private member's bill, obviously there's similar parliamentary time just strictly for debate. So on Friday we'll have 5 hours of debate. And yes, it will go into a bill committee. But the point is that there is no underpinning support. Most government policy of this order would have gone through a more statutory public consultation. We might have had a green paper or a white paper where many of the principles and the practical implications of this would be set out. We would also, as legislators, expect to see a full impact assessment, which would take into account, for example, how is this going to be afforded on the NHS? How many doctors are going to need to be trained up to actually deliver assisted dying? How many High Court judges? So as a legislator, it's incumbent on us when we make decisions, not only to understand the legal implications, as I've suggested, but also to understand that wider societal impact. Who's going to be affected? How much is it going to cost? And there isn't the support for Kim through a private member's bill. She's doing a great job, by the way, with volunteers and the campaigners helping her through the process. But there isn't that weight of evidence, and that's why we think an independent review like a Royal Commission is needed to bottom out these issues.
Thank you very much indeed.